Welcome back. This is the Fresh Outlook Business Symposium. I'm your host, Johnny G. And today's episode, we're talking about real estate. Before I begin, the Fresh Outlook, it's about to inspire, motivate, and to give today's fresh outlook in today's business world. We have a special guest today. His name is Greg Guinto, a realtor of Sotheby's International. So Greg, before we start, give us a background, give everyone a background about yourself, how you got started in the real estate business. And, everyone got a story, so let us know what you're about.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny, for having me. I'm with Sotheby's International Realty. I started, over 12 years ago, I would say. My mother-in-law actually got me into the business. She is a broker in Los Angeles, and I really love architecture and I love homes, so I felt like it was a really good fit for me. I also feel like I'm a people person, but I joined Sotheby's because it's an international realty company, and I'm with Sotheby's International Realty in Los Angeles, or Sherman Oaks, and then I'm also with Sotheby's International Realty Canada. And I love the brand. I love that we are a global network, and we cast that wide net to make sure that we market homes like no other brokerage, in my opinion.
Nice. Obviously you mentioned a little bit about your mother-in-law kind of being pushing you to the real estate market. Is there any other, influential people or current role models that are helping you guide your career to where you want to go in real estate?
Yeah. So I started off with a team, Glenn Ramillo, who's actually in Texas right now. So hats off to him. I do appreciate a lot of stuff that I learned early on in my career. Currently, I would say there's a few agents that really inspire me. I like agents that are cutting edge or thinking outside of the box. I have an associate, actually Petrus, in my Oakville office that is doing some really great work that inspires me. But yeah, I feel like it's great in this industry to see what people are doing and feed off each other.
You kind of led into what I want to talk about, how you like, or you've kind of motivated, or you kind of gravitate towards professionals that are cutting edge, thinking out of the box. And is that how your current career philosophy or business philosophy is? If you could touch upon that.
Well, yeah, I think this career choice, you constantly are being challenged because not one day is ever the same. So especially when certain things are thrown at you, for example, all this COVID-19 protocols that are coming into play now, it makes you try to figure out, well, how can I do this? Like, for example, my most recent listing that I had, we wanted to get it staged, and we all had that planned out, and of course it didn't work out that way. But now we found a way to stage it virtually, and I think it turned out really, really, really nice.
Now, you talked about being resourceful and obviously trying to market the property. are you using, like, for instance, like virtual marketing tools such as Zoom and then other, 360 technologies, so you can leverage that power?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So yes. So the idea is to try to show people as much of the house as possible without having them to go there physically because of COVID-19. We want to make sure everyone's safe. And Matterports are like click-through tours that we are highly encouraged to use, and I utilized it with this particular listing. And yeah, Zoom calls are important. I love that we can still do open houses, and we will be doing one for this property as well. You could basically kind of use the Matterport to go through an open house, and you can do it live on social media like Facebook or Instagram, and have interaction that way. And it is very unique, but it is just another way of doing business. And we're seeing homes still sell, fairly quickly, given all this new technology.
Man, especially with your expertise, you're doing two markets. Two unique markets in Canada and Southern California. What's your fresh outlook in terms of both markets? Is there Canada and the East Coast, and you got Southern California and the West Coast, two separate type of markets. If you could elaborate more on that, and if someone wants to purchase a property in Canada versus Southern California, what's your advice?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, the markets are completely different. But I love that because we could live virtually, I do attend meetings in both countries, my office meetings, and have been kept up to date with what's going on in each market. There are some, big differences in my opinion. In Canada, for example, there's not as many disclosures as there are in LA. I feel like LA is a very sue happy state. So, we want to protect everyone, and the amount of paperwork we have in LA is significant compared to Canada. That's one. The nuances of submitting offers are a little different. I think in Canada, they were still a little more face-to-face. And in LA, I feel like everything was digital. Presentation of offers were different. In terms of properties, I feel like Canada is unique because they have condos, pre-construction condos that you could purchase, and in essence, gain equity until it's actually built, and then sell it even before you gain occupancy. It's very, very unique that I feel like a lot of Los Angeles or people from the States could maybe want to look into. It is very, very unique because we don't do that in LA at all, which is kind of interesting to me. And then the terminology, I feel like is another interesting thing. For example, they say sold firm. In Canada, we just say, pending. They like to say, it's just little terminology like that would be another little difference.
What about residents from, say, Southern California looking to move out to Toronto? I mean, I've been in Toronto in 2000 after I graduated college, and man, the culture was totally different, which is good, and I like amenities that obviously you're trying to sell in terms of buying property in Canada. For instance, if you have to go to 7-Eleven, they don't. I believe there's a separate store to buy alcohol, right?
Correct. Yeah. So that actually recently changed, but yes, technically, like in LA, yeah, you could find liquor everywhere at the gas station, for example. And Costco, which I miss the bulk tequila. But anyways, it is very, very different. I think the biggest thing would be climate. My wife Vicky, that's how I met you, back in the day. And she said that was probably the hardest thing for us, for her to adjust to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for example, today's May, and we were out for a little bit, and there was actually snow. It was snowing a little bit right now. He's like, "What is going on?" But yeah, I think weather would be the different. And I think my wife learned early on, and she said, "There's no bad weather, just bad clothing." So you just gotta gotta wear the right clothes.
And I think one also the commonalities of being able to visit Toronto was I would say the eclectic of different ethnicities. And I was surprised that when I went to Toronto, just a different food. I mean, I love to go to different places, taste different food. I mean, you have the Italians in Toronto, totally different from Italians in New York, Italians in Los Angeles, and then also the Asian culture. And when we say Asian, we're not talking about just like Filipinos, Chinese. You're looking at Indian. So if you could touch upon that about the diversity of Toronto and the area that you're trying to sell real estate. I mean, how does that come in effect with with the real estate market?
Well, I mean, you touched on a good point. Yeah, there is a definitely different eclectic diversity here, and I don't know if it's because everyone's just so nice, but I feel like there's more of a inclusivity. Everyone's just, for the most part, of course, it's not perfect, but I feel like there's just more acceptance here. And in LA, I felt there's a little more segregation. And then, like you said too, food-wise, I do miss authentic Mexican food, which we don't have as much here in Toronto. But yeah, we do get a little mix. We get more Jamaican influence, like you said, more Italians. We don't have as many, like I guess, Armenians like we do in LA. But in terms of like the demographic, or in terms of how that affects real estate, I mean, I don't like to look at people as a color or anything like that, obviously. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're just here to help. I can't really say that there's anything specific that, obviously certain ethnicities have certain things that they're looking for. But I feel like, for example, Asian cultures, they're very, the feng shui of a property. I think that kind of translated in either country. I'm trying to think if there's any other differences. I think the fact that, we have winter, I think we have that added space, the basements, which I think was different that I didn't, we didn't really have to think about in LA. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, I mean, talking about the basements, I remember with your wife Vicky, I stayed with Alan, and he had a big basement, and I remember sleeping in, and I didn't know what time of day it was. So I mean, that could be a sell too, right? I mean, people that need a basement, they don't want to, like they don't want light. They're kind of introverts. They want to stay at home. That's another big sell. But I mean, basements, we don't have that. In majority of homes in Southern California don't have basements. So yeah, that was shocking when I did, visit Toronto and obviously. So, big shout out to Alan. If you still talk to him.
Yeah, no, Alan and his wife Christine. Yeah, Christina. They're all doing well. They're all doing well. Yeah, we haven't seen him in a minute because of COVID-19, but he's got 3 kids now. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he's pretty yoked. Yeah.
I can get some workout tips from him.
Yeah. Yeah, to your point of basements real quick, yeah, they do. A lot of people have, I guess it's kind of like converted garages in LA where it would be just another living space. Sometimes they have another kitchen and they rent it out. And sometimes it's completely separate from the main house. So
yeah, shifting gears a little bit, going to more like the marketing side and networking side. For buyers and sellers, obviously that's something that realtors always have to keep in mind. Like, say if they list a property, where are they going to find the buyers? Like do you collaborate with other realtors, or do you already have a inventory of buyers, or inventory of sellers? I mean, if you could talk about more, because that's kind of like the game, right? You find a property that like someone wants to sell, and then you got to find a buyer so that both parties are happy.
Right. No. So yes, it's a great question. For example, I love Eichlers in Granada Hills, and I've sold a few of them. And it's a very niche market, but you have to find a way to market to reach that demographic of people that typically like those certain homes. So if I have a seller that's thinking about selling an Eichler, I would find a way, and I actually have connections to promote it on Dwell Online or Curb LA, and through social media. There are ways that you could help target certain people, but also I already have a little bit of a following that already keeps eyes on anything related to Eichlers. And also with Sotheby's International Realty, what's great is we're all connected and through some Facebook groups, and we're able to network with each other if we have listings. And I just feel like this whole Zoom trend and everything, we have even some Sotheby's cocktail parties where we're able to connect with other realtors. It truly has changed the way we do business. And even globally, I spoke with another realtor just a couple weeks ago who was able to sell, I think, a property in Florida to a buyer in Bel Air, sight unseen. Nice. And it's just the magic of the internet.
Yeah, networking. I mean, it's changing the game. So for aspiring realtors, real estate agents, maybe brokers, I know you talk a lot about that. You have a particular niche in the architecture of a home, but a lot of realtors kind of want to get into real estate, or aspiring realtors want to get into real estate because of the allure of obviously the commissions, but what do you recommend, like in terms of personality traits? Networking, so they get into this business? I mean, any words of wisdom?
I would say if you are a people person, if you're a people person, this is definitely an industry for you. If you like every day being different and just being able to be creative and know how to network, I think that would be a right choice. I think if you're the personality type that kind of likes something kind of secure and steady, and like a 9 to 5 where you could like shut off, or maybe not as patient dealing with people, then it probably is not the best fit for you. But but the thing is realistically, we wear a lot of hats. Like I think a lot of people have this misconception that real estate is easy, but there is so much involved when you're trying to get from point A to point B, and the amount of people you need to deal with and talk with and kind of sort through different obstacles to make things happen, I think is also part of the reward that you get when you know you're able to accomplish something, especially when someone's purchasing like their dream home or a home that they've always wanted. There's no better feeling than knowing you've helped someone in that way.
Yeah. Another part to it is that I mean, if you could touch upon too the purchase process prior to like selling a home or buying a home. Obviously, if a potential client is looking to purchase a home, if you could touch upon like the differences in Canada and Southern California, what are the qualifications to get a loan? I mean,
Right.
do you work with any loan officers? I mean, if you could touch upon that, because actually that's the first step usually, right?
Right. Getting someone pre-approved is, first and foremost. Interesting you mentioned that. It is different how they handle, I guess, the pre-approval process. And obviously, I'd rather you talk. I do have some great lenders that could get into more finer details of the qualifications and what's involved. But in terms of presenting offers and showing that your clients are solid, in Canada, it's not a common practice to actually see a pre-approval letter or proof of funds when you're submitting, which was really strange to me when I first started doing business here. Because, in LA, it is the norm to, when you submit an offer, submit a copy of the pre-approval letter, to even have a conversation with the lender, and then to provide a bank statement to show how much down they're putting and that they have the means to put that down to know that they're good. In LA, we also, kind of base the transaction on the loan, and it typically takes 30 days for that to happen. In Canada, it can happen. They can get full approval within 5 days. Like, it is insane. Like, it is very, very different. And then they also all have pretty much that, in LA, we do 30-year fix is what people are trying to strive for. In Canada, it's more like either a 5-year fix or a variable. So it is very, very different in that respect. But I do have some lenders that I could connect you with, so you could do the same setup and delve into it a little more.
So you're saying it's easier to purchase a property in Canada? Is that what you're
in a way, it is. In a way, because you're not like, in some respects it is, because there's just less I guess paperwork as well. But the good thing about Canada, I would say, is we have lawyers on each side.
Yeah.
So it's different because we don't have lawyers representing, we have escrow in California, and here we have lawyers. So the great thing for us as realtors, I feel like we can lean on them, especially after a deal is firm, when we have an accepted offer and what we call conditions. In LA, we say contingencies. So when they remove the conditions here in Canada, then it's pretty much sold in their opinion. And it's different. I feel like if we were to remove contingencies in LA, I feel like we're still kind of on edge because we're still kind of waiting till like that, it's never over till it's over kind of thing. Because we're still waiting on the loan, right? And now it doesn't happen till like the very end.
Yeah, and lastly, if you could talk about taxes, property taxes. I mean, are they the same? I mean, obviously, I know that California is a heavily property tax state, and if your property goes up, then obviously property tax goes up, and then obviously there's a big push right now in the legislature to tax, say like the west side of Los Angeles, if you've purchased a house after a particular date. I mean, is there something like that in Canada in terms of property tax? And you can touch upon that as well.
Our land transfer taxes, like for certain cities, like Toronto, you have to pay double land transfer tax. Property taxes, I think we get taxed so much more in Canada than we do in LA overall, because we have, universal health care and all those other things. But in terms of property taxes, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to misinform anybody.
I mean, right now you're marketing. I mean, is there any hot properties that you're as on market in the Southern California market as well as the Canadian market? Talk about that, and then obviously, give some details to someone who's looking to purchase.
Yeah. So right now, I actually have this listing behind me. It is in Lake Balboa in California. It's north of Victory, east of White Oak, for people who know that's adjacent to Encino. It's Yeah, I'll send the link on my page or when we share this. But yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. You know, we just listed it yesterday. We have quite a bit of interest. We have about 5 book showings already, and yeah, you know, you would think with COVID-19 that things are kind of um, on the slower side or kind of touch and go. But I think also because today, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they have new regulations where they're letting people like out in the public a little more. Like they had a
Yeah.
phase of stuff that like I think it was like florists and the beaches. I think the hiking trails.
Yeah.
Something about like bookstores, sporting goods stores. I think that all opened up in LA today, correct?
Yeah, they're loosening some of the restrictions, obviously, you know. So it's good for obviously realtors because now they could hopefully talk to people hopefully at a distance and you know, hopefully just showing. I mean, I mean right now, like is there one of your associates that are there to show the house, or there's like a lockbox they said they could view the house if they want to?
Right. So I guess every brokerage handles this part differently. Our brokerage says no lock boxes right now because it's not safe. Because there's a lot of people that won't follow the rules, and we need to know who's going into the property at all times. So we're doing scheduled showings right now with intervals in between. I do have an associate that is helping me coordinate with everything to meet them there. You know, we turn on all the lights. We keep the doors all open. So there's limited touching throughout that process. And, you know, we encourage we have to sign forms before they come to the property. We need the PED form. And I have to have it signed by everyone before they enter the property to know that they understand the risks of COVID and you know, when you're out in the public and stuff. But yeah, it's very, very different. And I think in Canada, it's very similar to without all that paperwork. I mean, there is a little bit of paperwork on our end as well. But we're also seeing in Canada that there's a lot of properties that are selling like above list price and multiple offers right now too. I had a client that was keeping an eye on a property and within 3 days it was sold like fairly quickly, even with all of this, you know, COVID-19 and limited showings, people are still buying.
What about Canadians? Canada, real estate in Canada. You have current listings that people want to maybe invest in there, maybe a second home, you know, or vice versa. You know, any Canadian, you know, citizens that want to purchase. I mean, is there anything you have currently on inventory?
I don't have anything right now. I do have something that I'm prepping. It's a condo in downtown Toronto, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit. Right off of Fort York, you know, minutes away from the CN Tower. But yeah, I mean, I'll keep you posted when that comes on the market. But yeah, it is very, very unique. I do feel like if Canadians are looking for an investment, there are some great opportunities here, 100%. Yeah.
What's the medium, say for a condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, like you mentioned, what's the medium price range? I mean, if you were to approximate.
Right, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, around 800 square feet is about, I would say, anywhere from high 7s to low 8s.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's Canadian too, so you got to figure like with the exchange rate and everything. But yeah, that's the Toronto market, and you know, Toronto's such a great city to live in, and it's really dense and it's diverse, and it's got great, you know, great diversity and great restaurants and everything like that. But yeah, no, I mean, how long were you in Toronto? When you were...
about a good week. You know, I mean, they had great wet fries, poutine. You know,
Oh,
yeah. I was shocked when I first, you know, but it was good. It was great, gravy on fries and cheese, and they had like that white cheese. So I mean, hopefully, you know, if someone wants to invest, you can throw that in as a package. So I mean, that's a great.
Yeah, I guess I could say, yeah, if you buy this condo with me, I'll give you, you know, poutine for a week or a month. I don't know.
And the pizza comes with sauces. So I was surprised, like, wow, you have like different sauces. So yeah, I was, you know, I wouldn't say culture shock, but it opened my eyes to the world in terms of, you know, the culinary and the experience of food and culture. So I had a great experience in Toronto. So. All right. Well, Greg, thank you. I appreciate you joining us here at the Fresh Outlook Business Symposium. What is your IG so that people want to reach out to you? You have an IG handle that I'm gonna also post it, but if you could just briefly talk about what's your IG or
Sure. Instagram is at International Real Estate Greg.
okay. What about you have a website as well?
I don't. I use the Sotheby's website because it's it's very robust. So yeah, I like to keep with the brand, but yeah, it's just the Sotheby's website.
Okay, and then what about telephone number? Do you have a universal telephone number that people really want to purchase?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could call me on my Canadian number, which is 289-439-9684, or my US number, 424-275-8402.
All right, cool. So, I mean, thank you for giving the contact. So, lastly, again, I appreciate it. Any last shout outs or recommendations to our audience out there?
No, thanks for doing this. Yeah, appreciate it, Johnny. It's been a minute. I'm glad we were able to connect this way. Keep up the great work, and yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, once again, I'm here to inspire, motivate, and then give today's fresh outlook. And today was a fresh outlook in the Canadian and Southern California real estate market. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.